Well, hello, 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 my soul friends. It is Victoria on Tuesdays and Tuesday Live, where I just offer this as a meeting space to come together for those who desire a reset. Just kind of come chill with me, come reclaim with me. This is a channel that is dedicated to reclaiming your soul potential, nurturing your beautiful soul potential, and then living a life that you are co creating with God, with the universe, rather than with your conditioning, which is repeating your patterns through conditioning, through your programmed subconscious mind. So, welcome to the Soul Nurturer channel. If this is your first time, let me know. Let me know where you're viewing from. And I encourage you to pause if you're just clicking on. I see people clicking on and clicking off. Um, just stay with me for a little bit. I'm going to take you through my regular live, which is we're going to do a little brief meditation. We're going to explore a topic. I've been offering a short soul chart look or reading. I don't know why I don't like to say reading. Soul chart view at the end of this live, but I don't have anybody today, which is surprising. I had two people that wanted to participate in that, and then I couldn't get a hold of them. So here I am with me, myself, and I. We'll see if people join. I have to adjust this lighting here for a minute. Hold on one second, folks. When you're live, that's how it goes. A little too bright. Okay, so, all right. Well, I am going to keep my commitment to be here live on Tuesday at 4:44 Pacific time for a few more months. We're going to see how this goes. I've got a lot of other things I've got cooking, and I wanted the practice of being live, so that's what I'm here for, practicing and then offering something that could be of support to any of you out there. A lot of you do watch the replays, so thank you for that. Thank you for my regular viewers and commenters. So appreciate you guys. All right. Before I jump into the topic, which is I'm going to talk a little bit about shadow, but with a focus on the golden shadow and what that means about reclaiming potential. And it's the best entry into shadow work. It's the easiest, it's the simplest, and it's potent and powerful. So before we do that, I invite you just to take this time for you, pause the video if you're watching the replay, and get yourself set up cozy, get yourself a meditation cushion, whatever you need to take this few minutes for you to go into your inner world where we do the inner work. Okay, here we go. Closing eyes, turning away from the external, and going inward. Just following your breath inward, giving yourself permission to go into your inner world. Again, where we do the inner work. Isn't it amazing when you recognize that no one but you has access to your inner world? And then it follows that no one except for you has access, ability. I'm laughing because all day long I've been asking my husband to keep the door shut to a fly. There was a fly in the other room that didn't come in here, and I opened the door for a minute, and just before I went live, it came right in. So I'm going to be working with my friend here to see if I can stay focused. Reminds me of Ram Dass, a story about if you want to deepen your meditation practice, try practicing with a mosquito. See how deep you can go inward. So I invite you to take all the external distractions and work with them, or push off of them and go deeper into your inner world. In other words, let your focus be so strong that nothing can distract you. And that's how important your inner work is. And that is how important your meditation. And meditation is a way to quiet the busyness of the mind, to drop in, to be present to yourself. I like to say with compassion and curiosity. My friend has a lot to say. And maybe that is symbolic, like I always take whatever shows up. What is this? The symbology of this? What is the message here? I was resisting the fly all day long, and now it's here. And that is what we're going to be talking today, a little bit about shadow work, what we resist, persist, but it's in the unconscious. So just breathing into your body, just being willing to just be here for a couple of moments with you. Make contact with your body. Maybe you can just rub your hands on your thighs, or maybe you want to just put your hands on your heart or a hand, just letting your inner world, letting your soul know I'm listening, I'm here, present. Nothing can distract me. And when you claim time for just going inward, whether it's with meditation, prayer, that you're cultivating that. The more you make that connection inward, the more you're reinforcing that you are worthy of your own time, worthy of your own care, worthy of your own love. So just let the stress melt away, the tension, the day. Breathe in what you need. What do you need in this moment? It's a constant teaching of my work. What do you need? I can't tell you how many times I ask a new client or a client I'm working with for a while, what do you need in that situation? And the words come quickly, I don't know. And if your conscious mind isn't aware, it's a good chance your subconscious mind doesn't have any reference to meet you there. So we need to practice, bring awareness. What do you need? And then claiming it's safe to have that need met and that you're worthy of it. And then breathe it in. What would it feel like to have that need met? Breathe that in. And exhaling everything unlike it. And with every breath, I want you to imagine you're setting up your inner environment. You're breathing in fresh air, breathing in what you need, and exhaling what you'd like to release and let go of. And in this moment, just resting for a moment, letting your body, mind, system align and meet you where you are. Let your compassion and love meet you where you are. And just noticing. And in a moment, we're going to be talking about how what we admire in others is really our beautiful potential. So maybe bring to mind a few people, 3 people you admire. Just whatever emerges. Trust the images that come. 3 people, whether you know them or they're in the public arena or in a book, a character in a movie. Just trust and allow. And now we're going to come on back. And I am going to open the door to see if my friend will leave, and I'll be right back. Okay. This is live, not editing. Live, live, live. All right. So hopefully my friend will find their way out. And isn't it so funny? I mean, think about that. What can we make from that? That all day long I've been working in my office, and my husband's in the other room, and he wanted the door open. And when we have the door open, our friends come in. And I said, don't let them get into this room. And I just went out just briefly before going live. And who comes right in without just the moment I open the door, just waiting. Oh, you're going live? Okay, I'll be with you. Anyway, okay. So I'm going to make this short because it's just me and the fly. And I'm going to just do a top of the trees on this topic because I want to do a deeper presentation, if you will, on a different video without any distractions. But it's such an important topic, and I wanted to talk about 2 some shifts in the astrology right now, which is why I'm doing this particular golden shadow talk. The moon is in Leo, and the moon in Leo invites us all to shine brighter, to really be our authentic selves with our authentic expression. But so many of us are not, right? Why not? Well, we probably got a message somewhere that it wasn't okay to do that. You know, I'll get more into the shadow in a moment, how it develops, but the golden shadow is the gold, the treasure in our shadow that we admire in other people. And there's a saying in shadow work that if you spot it, you've got it. And it's not just the negative stuff, which we talk about. Well, I'm going to scratch negative. The things that we're more challenged by or more judgy about and more shaming in others because maybe we were shamed or we realized that that was not a good quality. It was not socially acceptable. It was not accepted in our families. So we suppressed it in the shadow. So that too is alive, and we find those through triggers when we're really bothered by someone or extremely reactive. So I'm going to talk about that more in a minute. I do want to just ask for those who are going to watch this later, my regular viewers, how excuse me, how was your Mother's Day? And just curious. There's a lot going on. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the astrology, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the shadow, and then I'm gonna get moving on. But truly, I did a video for Mother's Day because my heart was feeling into how I remembered Mother's Day could be for me as a motherless daughter, as a childless woman, lots of stuff. And I've done so much healing around this and was feeling so good leading up to Mother's Day, but my heart was feeling for everyone. So I decided I'm going to do a video for anyone out there that needs a little support around this. And guess who needed that support? Anybody guess? It was me. I literally had a major meltdown on Mother's Day. Exactly what I talked about on that video. And it's not too late to watch it because it's important I talk about grief. And I talk about there's a thing that happens with grief called the sneaker waves. When you're not expecting it, it's like, if you're walking on the shore of the ocean and it's beautiful and you're so wonderful, and then all of a sudden a wave comes from out of nowhere and knocks you over. They can be actually very dangerous. They can wash you back out to the ocean. Well, grief can be like that. Doing great, feeling good, and then the sneaker grief wave comes and just takes you over. And mine was a tsunami. It was unbelievable and unexpected, of course. That's what sneaker waves do, sneaker grief does. So I'm looking for my lip balm now. I'm just really I'm feeling the Sun Uranus conjunction today. This is very active, and it's kind of it's been, well, a lot of quick and sudden rapid changes. I wonder what you're noticing about it, and comment, share anything about that you'd like. Anyway, so yeah, Mother's Day was like just before I was about to pack up the our groceries, our food that I was making, or just before that, it was like when I was preparing some food item, I had this total meltdown. It took me a while to unlayer it, to stay with it, to follow the trail. And this is shadow work too. These things that emerge, you're triggered, you're very emotional. Something is trying to get your attention. So I stayed with it. I let myself cry. I let myself feel. I let myself track it. I call it soul tracking. What's the origin? What's the root? Where is this coming from? What is needed here? I went into prayer, praying. God help me move out of this space, move me back into a centered, grounding, trusting place. And it wasn't happening. I was really stuck in it. I was really, really, really deep in it. So yeah, it was, I call it like the perfect storm, and it was kind of stormy, and it was a beautiful sunny day here. I was later joking after I recovered with some help of my family, my mother-in-law in particular, who just met me right where I needed to be met. And I allowed myself to say things that I probably wouldn't say for fear of um, offending or looking like a victim. And this is shadow. Like, I won't talk about that. We suppress. We need to embrace all of it, all of us. And that is, in the shadow, we have these archetypal expressions like the victim. We all have a victim. We all have all of these qualities, and they need to be embraced. And a lot of us, I know that a lot of people in general do not like the word victim. Don't call me a victim, right? I'm not a victim, and yet we're speaking from victim, and that's okay. And what I say about victim is a person will be kind of in that victim energy until they are compassionately witnessed at the level of their deepest wound. And that's just the way it is. But for me, a professional practitioner who supports people all the time, there is this kind of a shadow of, I should have it all together. So I'm going to push what I don't have together down. That's a whole nother video I want to do. Let's get real with Victoria. I always say I pull the curtain back to show what it's really like. I mean, yeah, we all have it together in some way or another, and some of us have it not ordered, and that's okay too. So there's a myth of, I talk about this a lot. There's a myth of perfection, a myth of which is not possible. I always say perfection is an illusion that prevents us from activating our potential. So these myths that we buy into, that practitioners should have a perfect life and have it all together, and I buy into that sometimes, and then I fall short. And that's kind of like it was the floor that cracked through for me on Mother's Day was, I started noticing the grief, and I was trying to be with myself, and then it just kept cracking the floor open. I started doing the shoulding, I should have it better, more together. I shouldn't be feeling this grief. It's been so long. I was doing that to myself. And then it just spiraled me into my deepest core wound of I'm a failure. Like grief just dragged me down there. And then I was looking at everything that I feel like I failed, everything. And it was a lot. Okay. So I'm sharing this because I know, I always say this, I know that I have a lot of tools and a lot of practice, and I have years of experience, 25 years of doing this, if you count when I first started the professional training and working with people. We can go many years before when I first started studying on my own, and I have been practicing transformational journeys since I was 15 in some way or another. Slow journey, but continual. And so no matter what, how far we get, how much we've learned, we have layers and layers and layers of unpeeling and reclaiming. And it's a labyrinth and a spiral. And we meet ourselves where we need to be met over and over again. So let me take a sip of water. Surprised none of my regulars are here, but that's okay. I hope you're all out enjoying your day, and you know who you are. I'm not going to call you out, but when you watch the replay, because I know you will, tell me what you were doing. I hope you're having a wonderful time. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the golden shadow. And I say that slowly because years ago, it was about 10, 15 years ago, I was asked to speak about shadow work and at a retreat. And I do that, by the way. I do um, in home, or I come to retreats and do my little lectures. I call it like, when I have a couple clients that put together a gathering of women, and I come in and I call it's the modern day Tupperware party. I started doing these about 20 years ago, maybe 17 years ago. I started going into homes, and you gather the people, I'll bring the soul wisdom, okay? Or the soul work. I don't profess to be wise. We'll have, wisdom that we can share. That's our soul medicine, like what I like to call it. Anyway, so in the middle of, or at the very beginning, and I'm like, I'm going to make a distinction between, the shadow. There is the dark shadow, the light shadow, or the golden shower. And I said it out loud, the golden shower. I was like, oh my God, I meant shadow. So I could feel every time I say golden shadow, I can hear that other word wanting to sneak in. It's like, no. But it was funny. People laughed. Anyway, I'm going to read a few quotes. I'm going to just talk about the distinction really quick and give you a quick process that you can do on your own. How about that? Okay, so let me go to my notes. So the first one from Robert Bly is really speaks to what it's like with the shadow in our life. So Robert Bly said, a shadow is a long bag we drag behind us. We spend our whole life until we're about 20 or so deciding what parts of ourselves to put in the bag, suppress it. And then we spend the rest of our lives trying to get them out again. That's reclaiming the shadow, right? Embracing the shadow so that we can move into the wholeness of who we are created to be. And then I have a couple more. Actually, I did a post on my Instagram today. And if you're not and you're interested, go follow me. I don't know, follow. I guess it's follow there too. I really don't like that term, follow me. No, I'm not a I, ah. Shadow. This is shadow. See, okay, this is the other side of the shadow. This is where we um, we judge it. There's something icky about it. No, I don't want people to follow me. So that's shadow also. So, but here's what I wrote. Do you know that what you admire in others is often a reflection of your own unclaimed potential? It's time to reclaim your soul potential every day. It's time every day. That's our work, and to rise with your unique purpose and possibilities. So that latent potential, that's dormant potential, it's yours. So when you admire someone else, this is trying to reclaim the gold treasure inside you that got suppressed or hidden. So how does that happen? How do we begin to suppress and hide our authentic selves? Well, it starts early on when we are in our original training room, which is our family of origin, where I always say it's like a small pool of possibilities that we're living in. We have a few role models, our parents or caregivers that we glean from. How are these people called my adult relatives? How do they do life? What are they doing? How do they view themselves? And we begin to then, as we're emerging our authentic selves, we notice, oh, they don't like when I do that. I'm not going to do that. We suppress it. We push it into the shadow, or we're shamed by it. Like we get punished for something. Little boys don't cry. Good girls, whatever we do. Good girls don't fight. Um, okay, won't do that. Can't do that. Because why? We're trying to meet our most important primal needs, the need to be loved, accepted, to belong, and mostly to be safe. And shadow really develops when we feel like it's not safe to do that. It's not safe to be that, say that. I remember many occasions where I got shamed, and I realized, oh, I better lie. I better make something up here. Lying or denying creates the shadow. Got to push it away. So that's in a nutshell what it is. And like Robert Bly says, the whole part of the healing transformational journey is to reclaiming what we put in that long bag we drag behind us. Okay. So I also noticed I jumped off of the astrology. Let me just go back now that I'm on my notes. This Sun conjunct Uranus that started on the 13th and is going until, well, today, but we'll feel the ripple effects of it. Breakthroughs have been possible. Breakdowns to breakthrough, very possible. Or we can call them the birthquakes, the shaking of one's inner world through external experiences that birth in the new potential that you need. So that's going on. And then I just wanted to mention that Mercury is going into Taurus tomorrow, and it will stay there until June 3rd. So this is, I think it's a much needed little slow down a little bit, from Mercury in Aries, like go, 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 do too much. When we take on too much, we overwhelm ourselves. Taurus, Mercury is slow, methodical, and practical. Wouldn't that be better for the next few weeks ahead? Yeah. Okay. So now back to shadow. Another quote. This is from Robert Johnson. And by the way, I would recommend a couple books. One, Robert Johnson's book, Inner Work. He also has a very small book, easy to read, but deep and very condensed a very complex subject into a wonderful small book, and it's called Owning Your Shadow, Understanding the Dark Side of the Psyche. And then, and then the other one I would recommend is Debbie Ford, The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. Another small but very complex and good book. Okay, and is there anything else that's coming to mind? Not at this time. Robert Bly also has a book on shadow. Okay, so here's something else. The persona is what we would like to be and how we wish to be seen by the world. It's what we lead with. It's when we're super conscious. It's like the first date, or you're interviewing for a job, or around people you really want to impress. You lead with the persona. Like, look at me. This is who I am. Do you like me? Do you love me? Am I safe here to be myself? It is our psychological clothing, and it mediates between our true selves, soul, essence, and our environment, just as our physical clothing presents an image to those we meet. The ego is what we are and know about consciously. The shadow is the part of us we fail to see or know. But guess what? Other people see it and know it. Okay. And then other one I wanted to read also from Robert Johnson. Curiously, people resist the noble aspects of their shadow more strenuously than they hide the dark sides. To draw the skeletons out of the closet is relatively easy, but to own the gold in the shadow is terrifying. It is more disruptive to find that you have a profound nobility of character rather than to find out you are a bum. Robert Johnson. So I really love that one because, I've been finding that in myself. I mean, I have adapted into a way of being that is part of my fawn response reaction. The parasympathetic reactions that Pete Walker added, the fawn reaction, which is the people pleasers, the ones who oftentimes fawns are people who grew up in a lot of trauma or intensity, and they're trying to feel safe by being nice and figuring out what everybody else needs. This fawn type is usually, I see a lot of caregivers, a lot of professional practitioners, and empaths. So tell me if you relate to that. But so fawning is another way of, I cannot bring my authentic self forward. Too dangerous, feels unsafe. So it gets pushed into the shadow. And so, like Robert Johnson was saying, it's harder to reclaim our bright shadow, golden shadow, because it puts us back in that unconscious fear. Is it okay enough for me to shine completely? Right? It puts us on alert. Our mind puts us on alert. Are you sure? Remember you this didn't work out for you in the past. And remember, our mind's primary function is to keep us safe. That's what it does. So let me just teach you my really quick process, really quick, because nobody's here and I've got other things I can do, like go for another bike ride. This is something I came up with to work with my clients. And that is, from a hypnotherapy standpoint, two things are going on. We've suppressed the potential, and also we don't have enough references for what it looks like to do the thing we want to do. So remember, when you admire someone, that is like your psyche saying, that's your potential. Now what, right? So I invite you to pause the video and write down 3 people you admire for their qualities. Like 3 people, again, whether you know them, they're a character in a movie, in a book, a celebrity, 3 people you admire. Just in general, what you admire. And then you're going to ask, where would it be helpful for me to be more like that? Right? And then you start to let your mind body system know it's safe for me to be that. And then you begin to visualize. I take people through hypnosis, a process like this, to make it familiar to the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind will reject anything that it doesn't have information about. Okay? It'll spit it out. Like you'll say, I want to be more confident. I really admire, this person. They're really confident. But identifying it is just what step one, bringing it to your awareness. You need to update the subconscious mind. I always say it's not, what's that old saying? When you know better, you do better. No, that's part of the equation. When you know better and inform your subconscious mind, then you can do better. Anything short of that is just a concept. It's not actualized. It's not programmed in your subconscious mind to support you. So identify, and or you can do it more specifically, like you're having an issue, say with confidence. Who are 3 people I admire for their level of confidence? And then you really draw it out. What does it look like? What do you imagine they believe about themselves that allows them to be confident? What does it look like in motion? What have you observed? You tell your mind that's for me. You visualize it. You visualize it over and over again. And you can tease out the things you admire and create a vision board that further gives subconscious mind more information. Okay, I think I'm going to leave you with that. That's it. That's all I've got. It's not all I've got. I've got a lot more. But you'll have to book a session to get it. Or join me next Tuesday, or watch any of my other videos, or go to my Instagram feed. I am the Soul Nurturer on Instagram, and follow me there. I'm embracing that. Follow me there. And yeah, and I love to comment there and answer all my DMs and all of that. Or you can send me an email at thesoulnurturer@gmail.com. If you do want me to look at your chart live or in a 20-minute free consult, I'm laughing because the other distraction is right out the window. My neighbor likes to mow the lawn a lot. And so now she just turned off the mower. So anyway, it's time for me to wrap up. But if you would like that free 20-minute consult, I am booked out a bit. I have to make room for my clients and those who do want sessions. And so I'm booked out about 2 weeks for those. But go to victoriajazwick.com, look at my website, look at some of the testimonials to get a sense of my work. All right. Peace be with all of you. I feel you. I see you. We are all navigating a lot of, life, transformational opportunities every single day. So practice your soul care, your self care, and nurture your beautiful potential. It's needed on the planet. Okay. Take good care. Until next time. Bye.